Welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. This podcast was designed to let you know that you aren't the only one that took forever to get it together. So the rabbit hole that you have stumbled down will hopefully help you understand that just when you think it's over, it's only the beginning. Just because you were dealt a bad hand doesn't mean you have to keep it. Welcome to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.
And what's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. It is your boy Terry, man. It has been a while since I've done one of these. This a couple of weeks anyway. I kind of took a hiatus because I've been going through a lot of emotional changes and thoughts and stuff. And I said I'm gonna take me a couple of weeks and just kind of develop my thoughts and see what I was going to say on this episode. And what I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to take a break from spinning the block, because the next chapter of spinning the block kind of goes into the last marriage and things of that nature. That's a story. That's a story in a series, all in itself. And we'll get into that. But this one is going to be kind of a cancer update and all that, and just to kind of get some feedback from my listeners. I'll tell you what, you guys, I've really been going through a lot, with this cancer journey, and, with the pancreatic cancer being, one of the most aggressive cancers. This is, I'm entering a realm of, a little bit of fear, because things happen so fast and things can escalate. I've had some, over the last couple of weeks, there have been people that I went to high school with. One of my high school best friends, shout out to Bobby Pratt and his family. Bobby passed away some time ago. And then I had another friend of mine, her daughter passed away a couple of weeks ago. And so when you hear stories like that and people that you went to school with, and whether it be the person you went to school with or whether it's a parent or someone that you went to school with, and it's just, it's hard and it's scary, because all these folks that have passed away from some sort of cancer, whether it be ovarian. I'm not sure what Bobby had, but I know, and these folks are gone and I'm still here. And I think to myself going, okay, God, what are you trying to say? 50 years old, living with this pancreatic cancer, even though the chemo that I'm doing is keeping the cancer from spreading, I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to be cancer free. That's kind of one of the scary things. And so many issues has arisen emotionally, like, what kind of father can I be to my son? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going through these changes and these treatments, and, I'm not able to be that, active, because these treatments have me down in the dumps. I mean, these things are really hard to come by, really hard to fester, all the things are really hard to deal with, because my son is very active and he is a ball of energy. And there are times when I do have him that I just can't keep up. And, it's hard for me. It really is hard for me. So just to give you guys a little bit of an update of the cancer journey. Okay. I am currently halting chemotherapy. I am, just so you guys know, I am in round 9. Well, actually going into round 10. I only have 3 more rounds to go. And so I think what happened to me, guys, is that my emotions got the best of me, because, I really don't want to do it because of some of the after effects. And a lot of the after effects that I get are, just like I told my doctors today, some of the after effects that I have are minor in comparison to some people that have it, because a lot of times people that I take going through chemo are older folks, 60 and 70-year-olds that are going through chemo, and then chemo really attacks them and it really hurts them. And for me, chemo hasn't really been that bad, other than the nausea and the fatigue, which they give me medication for. With me, I get a lot of sensitivity to cold. After I get an infusion or a treatment, I can't drink anything cold for a while. It takes me like a week to get back to normal, kind of, sort of, because of a medication that I take during my chemo. It gives me sensitivity to cold to where I can't drink or hold anything or go into the freezer or anything like that. That's annoying because when I try to drink something that is not room temperature, that's actually chilled or cold, it tastes like it feels like razor blades on my lips and going down my throat, which I really, really hate. I hate that. So that's, when I say those symptoms or those after effects are actually minor in comparison, because you're used to it's hard not to be able to drink something. You know what I mean? Room temperature is good depending on what you're drinking. I mean, if you're drinking a tea or something, nobody wants to drink room temperature tea. It tastes like mop water. Nobody wants that, right? Water now, room temperature water, plain water, bottled water, I can do that. But it's that I've gotten used to it now, so it really bothered me to drink room temperature water. But anything else is like, come on, man, give me. I just will not drink anything. I rather just drink air and a supply, live on hopes and wishes. But yeah, some of those, those symptoms, like I said, they pale in comparison to some people that are older and taking chemotherapy. So I've been blessed and been lucky. But, in this season to where I'm entering this, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, I really don't want to do this. I know that my next step is going to be radiation because my tumor has so much vein involvement, with my liver and my gallbladder and all that jazz. The tumor is unresectable. So right now, even though the chemo has shrunk down the tumor to where, it shrunk it a little bit, but it's not enough to where they can go in and resect it. And even if it has shrunk, there is still a lot of extensive vein involvement that the tumor is doing, and which makes it unresectable. So that was one of the things I was like, man, if it's unresectable, three more rounds isn't going to do it. Is it going to, fix shrink it to the point where they can go in and go in and do surgery. So radiation is going to be the next step for me because I think they're telling me that radiation isn't going to, I was informed today that radiation really isn't going to take care of it, like kill it. But I think it's gonna kill it to the point where at some point down the road, I'll be able to do surgery and get rid of it and, be cancer free. But the chemo, what I found out today, the chemo is actually keeping the tumor from spreading, which I've had no spreading. I had no metastasis to any body part other than the head of my pancreas. So I've been blessed there and really lucky there to not have any kind of spread. So, like I said, I put a halt to chemo for the time being. I'm actually going on vacation next month. I'm going back home. I'm going to North Carolina. I'm going to have a visit with Duke University and see if there are any trials that they can do for me, because there may be a move from Missouri back home in the very near future. But that's kind of up in the air, because if I can, if Duke doesn't have any trials for me, so it's most likely that I'll stay here doing my radiation, because my radiation will only be 5.5 weeks and I'll be done with radiation. So you just don't know. It's kind of up in the air, but there's a lot of emotion behind it, because me moving back to North Carolina means that I will be away from my son, which I'm not, entirely sold on the idea of leaving Terry Jr. But my health is important to me. It's important to him. It's important to my grown daughters. It's important to my grandkids. So my health is important. So I got to make sure that I do the best thing for me and all that, I think that I think that, two adults, me and his mother, I think we can still have some kind of, hopefully we can have some kind of meeting in the middle. And, I'll still get him during the summers and things of that nature. And, but that's yet to be seen too. We haven't had that conversation. So she's currently on vacation. So we haven't had that conversation and probably won't have it until after I come back. So it's still up in the air. But I gotta tell you, and another main reason about possibly transferring back to North Carolina is that another reason why I would do it is because I have absolutely no support here. Now I have a roommate. Just so you guys know, I have a roommate, Nick. He's a really cool guy, but Nick has his own life, and the support that I need during this journey, he's just not right now. He got his own stuff. So I don't really, expect for him to kind of just drop what he's doing to support me. That's not, you know what I mean? So outside of that, I really don't have any, I don't have any family support. I don't have anybody, on my side. And it's tough. Those are if you are listening to this and if you really went through anything and having to go through that thing alone, that's a hard piece. It's not, some days I'm okay and I can get up and I can function like normal, but I don't leave my house. I don't really go anywhere unless I'm asked to go someplace. Voluntarily, I don't go nowhere. I spend 95% of my time in my bed, not on the edge of it, not, in my bed under the covers, 95% of the time, because it's just this thing has just really beaten me down, and the decisions that I have to make and what's going forward. And it's hard. It's a hard piece. I get some people that I got some folks in my circle that'll call me every now and then, text me every now and then. And, people that have encouraging words to say, and that's all. But they're thousands of miles away. They're hundreds of miles away. But I don't have anybody in my face. And I know that probably sounds weak or whatever, but for me, I'm just one of those folks. Once my ex decided that I was no longer a priority, and she's finally decided to stop supporting me, it did really became difficult, and I pushed through for a while. I got to round 9, and I did 9 rounds of chemo, 8 rounds of chemo after she decided she wasn't going to deal with me no more. It was like I made it through, and then I got to round 9, and then some stuff at the hospital started happening where I do my chemo. I don't know if I updated you guys or told you guys, but I'll give you one story in particular now. I'll give you a little bit of backdrop for this. I already have anxiety as it is. Anxiety is bad enough. So off the rip, I don't want to be there anyway, right? So this one particular, I think it was round 7. Okay, I can't remember exactly, round 6 or 7. And I had a nurse who, this particular day, I'm not sure if she wanted to be there or not. I don't know if she's having a bad day or whether her boyfriend broke up with her. I don't know what happened this day, but she really seemed disconnected. So I get 3 medications during my chemo. Okay. And each one of those medications has a time limit, not a time limit, but a run time. And so this one medication, she gave me the first one. That has a 2-hour run time, I think it is. And then I have another one that's a 90-minute run time. And so this one particular time she put the second medication in on the hook on my medication. And she let it run, let it run a normal run time. She comes back to me because it's time for her to take it off because it's time. And I sat there for 2 hours thinking that medication was going through my port. And come to find out, this nurse didn't even cut the machine on. So for 2 hours outside there. So guess what? I had to sit there for, the 2 hours with no medication. Then I had to wait. And then, so they'll run. So it's another 2 hours that I'm there. And infusion day is a long day anyway. So any kind of delay makes it a longer day. This particular day, I went in at 8:30 in the morning to do my blood work. And I didn't leave that hospital until about 6:45, 7 o'clock p.m. So I was very unhappy about that. I told my oncologist, she's very unhappy about that. And it's just little stuff like that. So it's like, I don't want to go through all this, especially by myself. I don't want to do it. I just don't. And my dilemma is, I want to be around family, my daughters, my grandkids. I haven't seen my grandkids grow. I haven't seen my grandkids grow up. My grandkids, my youngest daughter's kids barely know who I am. Now, my oldest daughter, Amina, Amina know who I am. She knows I'm grandpa and all that good stuff. But, my youngest daughter, her kid, barely know me. Now, our oldest son and her oldest daughter, her only daughter, know me a little bit, but I'm missing out on a lot of things. And I'm sitting here, I just need to recharge. And that's the reason why I'm going home next month. I'm going home next month for a number of reasons. One, to go to Duke, get the second opinion, see if I can get in a trial. And I'm going to spend time with my grandbabies. I haven't seen them for a year at least, and it's too long. So the update is, and this is what I'm asking family. This is what everybody that's listening to this right now. This is what I'm asking you. I'm gonna see if I can put it in the form of a halfway decent question. If this was you, and you were cancer, you had pancreatic cancer. This is you're 3 rounds away from 12 rounds. Okay, with everything that has come with this, the anxiety, the emotions, the loss, all that. And between that and going home to be with family, because you just never know with cancer. You never know with this kind of thing. And it's like, do you stay in a place to where you're constantly full of anxiety, where you're emotional all the time, whether, you're fighting whether or not you're going to finish up whatever treatment that you're going to finish up by yourself. Keep that in mind. Not just the treatment itself, but to do it by yourself. Or do you hang out or go and be with family, and go another route, as far as that is concerned? What would you do? If you were me, I'm literally asking for feedback because I don't know. But what would you do if it was you? Would you go the family route, or would you stay here? Hey, if you got an answer for me, listen, email me, Knucklehead Chronicles Podcast at gmail.com. You can now go to the website of Knucklehead Chronicles .cloud, not .com, .cloud, CLOUD. All right. I got, that website was a little bit cheaper. Anyway, cloud, Knucklehead Chronicles .cloud. Go to that website and you'll be able to, and then leave me a message, leave me something. Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. So I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast. I really appreciate you. I'm not sure what episode this is. I think it's episode 9 of this podcast, but actually it's just a random episode because I woke up late and I said, I want to get me a podcast episode in because I haven't done one in 2 weeks. So here I am. But I'll leave you there. I mean, what would you do? What would you do? All right. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening. I hope I didn't fry your brain too bad. Come back through and give me another chance. You can listen on all platforms and visit us at Knucklehead Chronicles Podcast.podbean.com. Until next time, in the words of the incomparable Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other.